Welcome to IDTV Profit. This is Mika Barve. We're now joined by the CEO of Hindustan Zinc, Mr. Arun Misra, to talk about the quarter gone by. Congratulations, Mr. Misra, for a strong start to the year. Could you give us some color on what drove growth this quarter?
So this quarter was marked by highest ever mined metal production of 263 KT. Of course, that resulted into highest ever finished goods production of 262 KT, which is a growth of about 1% year on year. But at the same time, we reduced our cost of production by 7% from same quarter last year, which has resulted into having our EBITDA as well as PAT increased drastically. The PAT went up by 19% compared to same quarter last year, and we reported a PAT of about 2,345 crores. So this is something which is a good achievement, I should say, both in terms of the quantity of production, also in terms of cost of production, and also which resulted into better profitability.
EBITDA margins have also improved to 48.5%. What is the target for FY25 since, FY24 did see a contraction when compared to the previous year?
No, so we should always try in this business to be around 50% EBITDA margin all the time. So that is the number that we would try to achieve.
Coming to your refined metal production, how was it this quarter and what volume growth do you expect going ahead?
So for last 3 years continuously, we have been increasing our production. We started off somewhere around 850 KT. Then we crossed 1 million ton for the first time in finished goods. Then this year, last year again, for the second time in a row, we finished 1 million ton, about 1033,000 tons. And this year we want to go closer to 1.1 million ton number. So that is what is in front of us. And every quarter, last year I had spoken that my target is to produce more than 260,000 tons every quarter. And maybe at the last quarter finish closer to 300,000 tons. So that is the whole way I look at this business. And we have done quarter one as per our expectation. Quarter two should be better than quarter one, and then should be followed by a better quarter three and best ever quarter four. That is the way we operate.
You also mentioned cost of production has come down in quarter one. What was it this quarter, and what's the targeted range for FY25?
No, so this quarter we achieved around $1107 per ton, which is 7% lower than last year. And we also have an estimate that we finish the year at $1,050 per ton. We are working structurally on cost reduction, both in terms of since 40-45% of our cost is power cost. So we have worked on our power plants, modified them to enable them to operate with higher percentage of domestic coal. So today they are operating at about 45% consumption of domestic coal in our coal mix. Also, we have been able to provide 8.5% of renewable power, where the cost of which is lower than that of our cost of generation or cost of grid power. And this number is going to grow up to 30% by the year end. So very structured way of working on the cost, and we will be reducing the cost further as we go through the next few quarters.
Right, sir. I also wanted to get some perspective on pricing. Now, Q1 FY25 saw strong metal prices, but they have corrected in July 24. Now, how would this impact the company, and what's your outlook going ahead?
Quarter two will be slightly subdued based on the pricing, and I'm sure we'll have to do more on the cost side to keep our margin intact. And going forward till December, I don't see much beyond it. It won't be able to break the 2,700 or 2,750 mark by the year end. I'm sure the quarter four will be better in terms of prices, simply because I am basing on the fact that in Europe, two big elections, both of France and UK, are over, whereas American election is in November, which should be over by that time. And we'll have more optimism and major push in infrastructure work. And we should see that should result in a quarter four being much better.
Well, there you go, subdued prices for the next quarter. But, coming to the mining operations, before I talk about capacity, I wanted to get your sense on how the latest ruling by the Supreme Court of India on mining royalties will impact the company. How much additional liability are we looking at?
No, as far as we are concerned, we are already paying GST on royalty. So no backlog on that. So we are not affected by that. Unless something new tax or cess is levied by the state, and also it is done retrospectively if Supreme Court gives the judgment that states can levy something retrospectively. So that's not the case as of now. And other matter is the land tax in Rajasthan. So where we are clean. So we have nothing pending out there. So as of now, I don't see much materialistic effect on our operations as far as this judgment is concerned. But yes, if new taxes or new cess are levied, then it will be another issue. But let's wait how things turn out. We will only see.
Well, there you go, no material impact. But where are the current mining reserves of the company and how are the mine metal exploration shaping up?
So currently we have a reserve of about 30 million ton of metal in ore and on the resource basis, and about 12 million ton metal in ore on terms of reserve basis. We have a target to continue our exploration and take these numbers to more than 40 million ton metal in ore on resource basis, and maybe up to 20 million ton in terms of metal in ore on reserve basis. This is primarily we would be doing with the strategic objective of doubling our production from 1 million ton to 2 million ton, which will call for at least 10 years of reserve, that is 20 million ton metal in ore on reserve basis. So those are the targets of explorations that we have for ourselves.
Right, sir. Could you also tell us how the new roaster at Daberi as well as the new fertilizer plant at Chanderia are progressing, and when would these two be commissioned?
So the new roaster in Debari is progressing very fast. It should be commissioned by Q3 of this year, if not early Q4. As far as the fertilizer plant is concerned, we expect it to come online in Q2 of FY26, which is year after next.
Right. And, when you talk about CAPEX, what's the CAPEX budgeted for Hindustan Zinc for FY25?
So we have got about 2,500 to 3,000 crores worth of CAPEX lined up for this year. So they cater to mostly, apart from this project on roaster in Debari, also the fertilizer project, but we have number of high payback, small capex performance improvement projects for which also we will be spending money. At the same time, we have mining equipment routine replacement schemes lined up. They will also require some amount of money to be spent. So overall, our capex is in line, and we don't see any need to revise that capex that we have outlined for ourselves. Of course, if the 2 million ton expansion pre-feasibility report gives us any hope of a very good future prospect, which we expect that this 2 million ton is feasible. And whenever board approves, we will come out with further capex outlay for such a large expansion.
And how will this allotted capex impact the balance sheet with a potential additional outlay?
No, as far as Hindustan Zinc is concerned, see, net we have about 11,000 crores invested in various investments and about almost similar number as far as debt is concerned. So we are absolutely on net debt-free company. Our balance sheet is strong. Our ability to generate about 8,000 to 9,000 crores every year on cash basis on profit after tax, that also remains. So as long as these fundamentals are in place, I don't think it will be very difficult for a company like Hindustan Zinc to fund for its own growth, even if that requires about 17,000, 18,000 crores. It's not much difficult.
Yes, sir. Lastly, before I let you go, what is your view on the opportunity from accumulated waste metal in this segment?
We have got a huge opportunity for the recycling business. We have got more than 1 million ton of metal in the tailings that are stored in various places at the genocide. We have got an opportunity of producing more than 3,000 tons of silver from the waste that are stored at various sites. So we are now currently working with a global partner on putting up a concentrated plant that will be able to liberate the zinc out of the tailings that we have, and also how to do the mining from the tailings dam and processing it so that we get that zinc and silver output from it.
Got it, sir. And in terms of top line growth, what kind of growth will this opportunity translate to?
No, you can imagine that it will easily translate to maybe another 500 or 600, another 1,000 KT or 500 KT production to begin with as far as zinc is concerned, and add another maybe 300 to 400 tons of silver. So maybe around 30-40% growth in the top line.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Mishra, for talking to us, giving your time to NDTV Profit, and we wish you all the best going ahead.
Thank you so much.